I'm taping this while it's a little raw, but I was laid off from the Washington Post today, along with around 300 of my other colleagues.
We will be closing the sports department in its current form.
The Washington Post had long been one of the most influential news organizations in the United States. Today, over a third of their staff has been laid off. This includes hundreds of journalists, including award winners, bureau chiefs, seasoned reporters. No one was spared, and former editors of the newspaper are describing this purge as a bloodbath. Employees learned of their fate through emails after a company-wide meeting, which carried one of two subject lines, telling them whether they had been retained or eliminated. The platform is nearly 150 years old, and since 2013, it's been owned by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. So what really happened now? On Wednesday, roughly one-third of Washington Post's workforce was laid off in a drastic restructuring move, including entire departments being eliminated. Their entire spots desk and multiple foreign bureaus have been completely shuttered, and while the reduction aren't limited to a single division, it's affected everything from international reporting to metro coverage to sports and culture coverage to their long-running book world section and podcast team. Among those laid off are Ishan Tharoor, Shashi Tharoor's son, who was a senior international affairs columnist, and Pranshu Varma, who was the American Daily's New Delhi bureau chief. Even their Ukraine correspondent, Lizzie Johnson, was also laid off, in the middle of a war zone. And the entire roster of the Middle East correspondents and editors has been cut. As per journalists who've been vocal about the situation, WASHPA has in recent years faced declining subscriptions, internal tension over editorial direction, and growing criticism over leadership decisions. Their CEO said last year that the paper had lost $177 million in 2 years. The executive editor Matt Murray told the staff that the Post needed to overhaul its operating model to adapt to changes in technology, reader habits, and revenue patterns. He said, "We can't be everything to everyone," and that the legacy structure no longer aligns with how audiences consume news or how digital journalism operates. Significantly, our daily story output has substantially fallen in the last 5 years. Even as we produce much excellent work, we too often write from one perspective, for one slice of the audience. And the last line of that is the biggest pointer towards what seems to have happened. Washington Post's former executive editor Marty Baron has laid the blame directly on Jeff Bezos, essentially accusing him of eroding the paper's readers and viewers base to pander to Donald Trump. Here's what he said. Bezos was great at the beginning, and for a long time, as a matter of fact. He took a real turn after it looked like Trump was going to be elected president yet again. And that was in 2024. 11 days before the presidential election in 2024, they killed an editorial that was endorsing Kamala Harris. Hundreds of thousands of subscribers canceled at that time, aggravating the financial problems that they had. He did all sorts of things that made things even worse, like appearing at the inauguration on the stage with Donald Trump. He even bought the Melania so-called documentary for an exorbitant price. He completely changing the opinion pages so that essentially they have no columnists who are really left of center. All of that has driven subscribers away. If you don't have reporters, you're not going to know what's happening. We are not stenographers, and we should not be propagandists. Under Barron, the paper had flourished, flexing journalistic muscle during Trump's first term in office, and they did reap rewards too. They got 3 million paying subscribers. Now Barron basically hints that Bezos was swung the other way, and this has hit the subscriber base. As per reports, over the last 2 years, tensions between Bezos, newsroom staff, and readers had intensified. Journalists have publicly criticized the owner after the newspaper decided not to endorse a candidate in the November 2024 presidential election, breaking with long-standing tradition. The decision reportedly led to more than 200,000 digital subscription cancellations. Bezos has not publicly commented on the layoffs. His silence came despite repeated pleas from Post journalists urging him to intervene. Bezos also seems to be recalibrating his relationship with Trump, who was a frequent critic of the Post during his first term. In March 2025, Trump publicly praised Bezos, saying he was doing a real job with the publication. So many have now pointed to this pattern now. Now, top Democrats including Bernie Sanders have slammed the move, with Sanders saying democracy has died in oligarchy. Some claim it's a needed reset. The story will be different depending which side of the fence you're on.